Hello and welcome to Shiny Happy People, the programme which sets out to explore the truth and myth of living on the Costa del Sol. We're going to be looking at the coast from the point of view of expats who have already taken the plunge. We intend to delve below the surface and portray the stories, the experiences and the daily activities of a variety of expats. There will be programmes dedicated to issues such as running a business in southern Spain, the property buying process, healthcare and education, sport and the outdoor, and of course that rocking nightlife amongst others. So, if in your deepest, darkest thoughts there's just a small part of you thinking, I wonder what it's really like, you're in the right place. Stick with us for the reality of life under the sun. So let's begin our little exodus by looking at some of the more popularly perceived ideas. Why do people come to the Costa del Sol? What do you think? In this first episode of Shiny Happy People, we're going to be comparing and contrasting the many reasons why so many different sorts of people are choosing to come and live here. We're going to start by doing a random survey and asking people why.
I like the culture, the food, the people, very happy people.
And the weather, the sun, yes. Yeah, we just love it.
I enjoy the people, I enjoy the climate, I enjoy the beach, I enjoy the sea.
You can go to the beach every day and have fun.
Great shopping, nice people,
Good food.
good wine.
The weather, the temperature, we get very poor temperatures at home.
Obviously the weather. Apart from the climate. Sick of England.
Since the early 80s, the mass migration into Spain has been something of a phenomenon. Statistics show that over the past 7 years, the foreign population has trebled and is showing no signs of abating. So what is it exactly, aside from the weather, which lures so many people to this part of the world? Best place to start is by asking someone who really knows. Mary Harbo is a local presenter with a Radio Europe Mediterraneo, and she runs a daily magazine programme dealing with the sort of issues that will affect the foreign community. Right at this moment in time, she's doing an outside broadcast just here at one of the swankier hotels on the coast. Mary, I think it would be fair to say you have quite an in-depth knowledge of the foreign community here. What do you think are the main reasons why people would choose to leave their home countries and come in search of a new life?
I guess there are probably two. I think there are the people who are running away from something, and then there are the people who are running to something else, a dream or a hope for the future. I think everybody just wants to find some happiness, and I know everybody says that it's the sun and it's the sea and it's the weather, but there is no doubt that it does play a part in how you feel. One of the major attractions is that it is a very different style of life. There's a different quality to the life, a much better quality of life. I think that goes without saying. And yet it's very accessible. Within a couple of hours, you're still in London. I often wonder what the Spanish people really think of the foreigners who've come here. And I don't think that we're particularly aware of any sort of bad feelings towards us, but there are stereotypes of English people in the English bars and eating egg and chips and beans on toast and cups of tea and pints of beer, and the guys who don't wear the shirts. They're actually a minority. I don't think that the vast majority of people who live here are like that. I think it's just a very small minority. It is a complete mix of people, and I think that what comes out of it at the end is something really pretty good.
So now, what better than to get a random selection of people who've all come here chasing their own happy endings and ask them a little bit about the reasons why they came here, and perhaps get a little bit involved in their daily life. We're driving towards Graham and Cheryl's house now, and we're driving through this area which is popularly known as the Marbella Golden Mile. Now, Graham and Cheryl have a slightly unique family setup. Cheryl runs and owns a graphic design company, and Graham is a stay-at-home dad. what was it about the UK that made you want to leave?
Well, weather, I know that's the classic weather, but also the very closed life. I mean, it was driving Graham mad. He's a really, really sociable person, likes to talk to people, be out chatting.
Sitting there quietly.
Yeah. And you can't do that in England. It's all behind closed doors. Here there's parties all the time. He's always talking, meeting people. It's just part of the life.
And what is it that for you is probably most special about here, taking away the weather and the social life, but taking away all of that, what is it for you that really makes this place so special?
The people.
Yeah, so you have a lot of friends within the English community, Spanish community, foreign community?
Yeah, all different nationalities, and the kids too, you know, Italian, Russian, Spanish, Argentinian. I think it enriches them in every way to make relationships with people from different cultures, you know.
Now, you mentioned that the kids at the moment are sleeping up on the terrace. Is that right over there?
Yeah.
So that's a great way to get rid of them in the summer.
Yeah, yeah, it's true actually. The noise is greatly reduced, yeah. And it's easy because it's big, they can have all their friends as well.
That's enough. It's only a few hours.
You need beauty sleep.
So your special moment is running in the morning, diving into the sea. What about others?
Cycling to work.
Oh, that's brave.
Yeah. Well, it's only 5 to 10 minutes, so it's not
also
too
only
much.
about 35 to 40 degrees at the moment.
Yeah, but actually that's one thing I really like about the heat here. Everybody's like, oh, it's hot, hot. But I love that because it slows you down.
What was it in the end? Was there a final thing that just made you think, I can't do the UK anymore, I've got to go?
Well, I never fitted. That was the biggest problem. Well, that had been since I was quite young, but I didn't know I didn't fit. And when we went back after living here and tried again, I really tried to fit in, but I couldn't. There weren't enough colours. I didn't meet enough characters.
How about a favourite hangout?
Well, the favourite hangout is a bit of a secret, so I can't. I can't really tell. There's a little restaurant in La Campana called Los Farolillos,
Okay, we noted that down.
which has
We'll
to
be
be
going there.
one of the best family restaurants. It's like something out of a film. It's like one of these old Italian restaurants where families turn up, and the noise level is really high, and the service is fast. They're running. The food is great, and the value is fantastic.
Is there anything that you think, actually, I quite missed that?
No.
There must be something, a little something that you sometimes think, you know, I mean, food-wise?
No.
Spanish food is good.
I think the most special moment is when I've brought the kids back from school on a hot June day, and they take off all their school uniform and they run down to the beach and they leap into the sea and splash around before their homework.
It's not cold,
That
but look,
looks
he's swimming
refreshing.
fine.
When you want something in your life, you've got to step out and follow it. You can't keep waiting because otherwise your life passes you by and before you know it's too late.
My favourite thing about living in the Costa del Sol is that it's always sunny and bright, and the sea is always calm and stuff, and it's brilliant for water sports like skiing, cable skiing, and canoeing and stuff. Well, my brother and my father have gone so far out that they've seen dolphins, and me and my sister, we normally play out there and tip the boat and play a game how the first one to fall off the boat loses.
Spanish people are they're really outgoing, you know. They're not a lot of them are shy, and they're very friendly, they're easy, they're laid back, you know. They're very talkative. They are always talking. Spanish people always get told off in class for chattering too much.
They're always a lot more jolly and playful and stuff, I'd say.
And they're not very good drivers.
Well, we're now on our way to Coin, which is a typical Spanish white village, and it lies about 20 minutes inland from the coast. There we will be seeing Samantha and Justin, who work together and they own a PR company, as well as having bought themselves a very nice rural retreat.
specialities is Spanish tortilla because it's a very simple dish. It's yummy, really. And of course it's yummy because we have the real lovely ripened onions and good olive oil and lovely potatoes. You have so many farms and fresh produce everywhere. You know, you can pick your oranges straight from the tree, the lemons straight from the tree.
Never miss England. And I actually miss it less when friends come over that live in England, that constantly moan about the weather, car rage, politics, lack of space, lack of health, and lack of beauty, which we get up here.
What was it about Spain instead of somewhere else?
Well, Spain is very familiar to me. It is like my second home, but I never really lived here full time. And I wanted to make sure that my Spanish was very good. And I just love the attitude, the lifestyle, the culture. I find it very comfortable, very open, very warm. And it's beautiful weather. And it's a place that people only see as a summer place, but actually I think it's the most beautiful in the spring and the autumn, and the variety and just, you feel good here, you feel happy. I like that. There's a warmth, there's an openness, there's a giving here that you don't find, I think, as readily in other countries or as easily. And I just find Spanish people, their attitude, their warmth is exceptional. It really is.
How would you describe a normal day in your daily life? Perhaps a Sunday. What would you get up to?
Basically trying to catch up on everything that we have to do around the house, because we do work very hard and you have to here. So yeah, just normal things like sweeping, enjoying the house, doing little odd jobs, taking the dog for a walk and having our time.
To walk the dog in a valley that is surrounded by orange groves, and you can hear the stream running underneath you, and you work out rather than going to a posy gym. I work out with the rocks.
It's really important for us to just enjoy our life, and that's why we started our own business and why we decided to live here, is because we can dictate how we work, how we live.
I think a lot of people set their own businesses up here because they're on a mission, because they're on a dream, because they want to be in control and control their lifestyle, which is why you move here to a degree. I mean, if I'm working in London, then predominantly when I finish work and the team's finish work, we'll be straight in a dark pub and talking about the day. Here, we'll actually go and relax on the beach, or we'll go fishing, or we'll sit here around the orange groves.
And we also live in a place where people like to come and visit. They really do, because it's a beautiful house and it's a beautiful view, and because it's different from the coast. You know, for them it's like, yeah, I'm going to the countryside.
Alan is an entrepreneur who's been here just over a year. Let's see what his reasons are for coming here. So why did you choose to leave England, and why Marbella and all the places in Spain that you could have come to?
Well, it's quite a long-winded question, but really the main thing for me is lifestyle and money to a certain extent, and I'd be lying if I said that wasn't the case. I have many friends over here, all of whom have left the United Kingdom and are doing a lot better. They have healthier lifestyles. I'm a very active and healthy person, but I also am very addicted to my work. I think I'm very entrepreneurial. I still have many years left, and I want to be more successful here than I was before. And in England, it wasn't possible because I wasn't very happy with my lifestyle. At the end of the day, I think most people are always very, very happy when it's sunny. You know, as a salesman, I've always been able to sell a lot easier when the sun was shining. And I think it's the very similar situation here. You wake up, it's a lovely day, you're happy, you know, and it goes on from there. And it just fits into every facet, every orifice of business. And for me, it just sums up everything about life. I wake up in the morning and I'm happy. And I wasn't in England. And, you know, I want to be happy. My favourite moment of the day is in the morning. The first thing I do every morning, or at least Monday through Friday, is I run on the beach, on a lovely secluded part of the beach. no tourists, just lovely golden sand, lovely pathways, and with a lovely sunrise. It's just perfect. And I used to think about that all the time when I was in England. I have breakfast every day, very close to the same beach, and the locals eat there. And for me, that's very important. You know, it gives me a chance to try my Spanish. They generally laugh, and I think it's more at my attempts at speaking Spanish than my humour.
And what about the negatives of living here?
The main negative of living here for me, to be perfectly honest with you, is that there are probably as many British people living here now as there were where I was living. You know, I came here for a change of scenery.
How would you praise what you see as the Marbella lifestyle?
I see it as a combination of 21st century thinking, but coupled with a very traditional Spanish lifestyle, and they both seem to work very well together, and they both seem to work, you know, without clashing. I do most of my networking of an evening. Networking for me is just really trawling the local bars and clubs, you know, and just rubbing shoulders with people that I can potentially work with in the future. And also from a single guy's point of view, it's a great way to meet people. In England, people are very reserved and very shy. Here they're not. And I think that is very much down to the lifestyle and very much down to the weather. I think people have a frisky way about them here. You know, everywhere you tend to go is, you know, cradled with sand, palm trees, beaches, you know, and in that environment, how can you be anything but happy, friendly and cheeky? You can't. And I think everyone is very friendly and very open to conversation and suggestion.
Why did you really come here? Kind of off camera.
Cash and women. Cash and women, baby. Cheers.
Well, there's one thing on which almost everybody is agreed. The weather is a strong deciding factor in convincing people whether to move to the Costa del Sol. In our next episode, we'll be meeting more shiny, happy people to find out how they went about the process of buying their dream home under the sun. Hasta luego.